En Garde, yes, my En Garde review. Now, this game is a little bit like a Souls-like. Kind of, not really, but it's kind of like a Souls-like. And I just thought I would give you a quick En Garde review, this quick En Garde game review, because this is a smaller title made by a much smaller team, and I don't think it's going to get a lot of attention, so I just thought I would quickly cover it, just to let you know if it's worth your time or not.
No bite at all.
It's not asking for the same amount of money as a bigger release, thank God, because it's simply ridiculous, but don't expect this game to be massively long or overly complicated, but what is on offer here is a good experience. I guess anything with a dodge mechanic now is considered a Souls-like, which is just ridiculous. I think this whole Souls-like genre has gotten out of hand. En Garde is simply a hack and slash fun action game with arena type combat, and basically the main focus of this game, what makes it stand out from others, is the environmental attacks that you can do, and they are pretty awesome, I've got to be honest. You can kick barrels into enemies, kick them off of ledges, and they will tumble down in a kind of cinematic, animated way, depending on, you know, the location, which is super cool. You can chuck a barrel at someone's head, and they will just, you know, get completely flabbergasted, and then you can do a cool finishing move, stuff like that, which is super cool. You know, the standard explosive barrels that we've seen before in gaming, but they've also got some pretty cool tricks up their sleeves, like you can chuck a bucket and then it will fly up into the sky and then land on someone's head. It is a very cartoonish, bombastic game. It's not trying to take itself seriously, and the difficulty reflects that. This, even though, you know, it does borrow some elements from Souls-like games, this is not a difficult game. And the thing that I do find a little bit annoying about it is the fact that the parry is just way too forgiving, and, you know, basically anyone can play this game, so I think that is a negative. But basically what makes this game fun is the fact that you can just kick enemies around, and basically they will just fly into anything. You can basically interact with any type of object like tables or chairs and use that to your advantage, which is really fun. At times this game does deal with some platforming elements as well, like jumping from one location to the next, and you do actually have to have some timing or you will perish, but it's not, you know, a punishing game. You will just be respawned at a very near checkpoint. Now, I do hope you enjoy this En Garde review, this En Garde game review, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. It takes 2 seconds for you guys, but it means absolutely everything to me. We are so close to 10k now. If you do enjoy gaming content, early reviews, or retrospective content, video essays, philosophical videos, and deep dives, and all that kind of stuff, you've come to the right place. I work super hard on my videos and I will not disappoint you, so please do consider subscribing and leaving this video a like. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you demolish that like button so then the YouTube robots won't come in the dead of night and drag me away. I would appreciate it a lot. And consider checking out my music on Spotify. If you like electronic synth music, go check out my music. It's not like anything else out there. It's very different. If you like the cyberpunk soundtrack, then I'm sure you will like it. My new album, Nova, is coming out very soon, so do consider supporting me and checking out my music. And drop a donation or become a member today for extra content that I will give you access to. I've got a whole playlist only for members, and any type of donation is also appreciated. Thank you so much for supporting this independent show. Now let's start off with a negative, because this does impact my feelings toward this game quite a lot, and that is the UI and the difficulty. So like I said, this game is not difficult, but it also feels very childish at times, and maybe that's because it's catered to a younger audience, so it's not trying to be an overcomplicated Souls-like or anything like that. But the UI, so far, I've only played the early access. Now, my review is based on the early access, so please do bear that in mind. I do all of my reviews based on hands-on experience and extensive research, and I did get early hands-on with this game, so this might change, but insofar, you cannot change the UI, and there's always going to be flashes and pop-ups everywhere that you go. Basically, you don't have to think for yourself. You know, the enemies are clearly telegraphed and they're very easy to avoid or parry, so it doesn't feel challenging really whatsoever. And the stupid UI pop-ups, that's just modern gaming 101. It's very sad. That's just the state of gaming now. You know, you need to be reminded exactly what button to press for everything, even though it's pretty obvious. And it's pretty sad, but that's just how it goes. Also, you automatically lock on and stick to everything, which does sometimes feel a little bit janky and limits your player movement. So that's pretty stupid if you ask me, especially since it wants you to engage with the world space around you and the, you know, different environmental combat choices that you can make by, you know, interacting with the furniture or explosive barrels, stuff like that. So that's a bit stupid. And at times it does feel a little bit dated with its stilted cinematic and storytelling moments, and the fact that there's loading screens pretty much every room that you go into. So it does feel like an older game at times, but that isn't necessarily bad because this is just a good old hack and slash fun. Another negative I would say is the AI. The AI can sometimes just get stuck on things. It doesn't know exactly what to do at times, and especially in the wave combat moments when you're fighting waves and waves of enemies, it's so clear where they spawn in, and you can literally just, you know, wait at their spawn point and just, you know, hack away at them and just push them back into the spawn locations, and it just feels not that good at times. And the final negative, and then we'll end on a positive, is the fact that the story and the writing here, it tries a lot of the time to be funny, but it just falls and fails with the comedy most of the time, unless if you're very juvenile and a younger person, you might then enjoy this a lot more. But for me, the writing was just cheesy, the story was very generic, and the story just doesn't grip you, and the writing isn't as well done. But that's not, you know, a bad thing necessarily because this is a smaller studio. What is fun about this is the hack and slash combat, is the combat, and the fact that this game isn't going to be that long and it's a lot cheaper. You can easily just play this in one sitting and just have a good time with the combat if that's your type of thing, because not many games are doing this type of experimental, environmental combat that this game is trying to do. So that is the main good thing about En Garde, and when I'm thinking about this En Garde review, I do think what makes this fun is the combat, and when I weigh up all of the negatives and the positives, it still comes out as a positive simply because it was a fun time. It doesn't matter with this type of experience that the story isn't super engaging. That would matter a lot more in a bigger release, like for example Lies of P. You know, then of course that would impact me a lot more because that's a massive game which is going to be much longer. But this is a smaller studio, there's a few bosses in there, the level design is rather linear. You do get some enemy bosses as well and different enemy types, which is fun, but I'm not sure there's quite enough enemy variation to keep it interesting throughout the game unless they add a lot more. So that is my En Garde game review. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's nothing massively complicated, and I do think they need to change up the level design because there literally is no player agency in this game whatsoever. Of course, you can choose how to upgrade as you play, but there's just not a lot of player agency. The level design feels very limited. It is simply a hack and slash game at the end of the day, but it just doesn't feel like there's enough here, which is a shame. But I do think that the core of the gameplay is fun, but at times it does just feel a little bit one note and a little bit janky. But overall, I do think En Garde is an interesting game, and I do hope you enjoyed this En Garde review. And if you did, please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.